Wow, it feels like 2013 was just yesterday, people. It really does feel like it was just yesterday. What is going on? Ryan the Professional. I'm here again, here on YouTube.com, and we're going to talk about a few things. Now, you already saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I am concerned about this, not because I fear competition. No, I actually fear what might happen, and I fear the longevity of it as well. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's go ahead and do a little recap of a few things that's happened this generation, and let's see where we go. Sound good? All right, let's start the video, shall we? Alright, so welcome back. Let's go ahead and get into this. The Xbox One and the PS4 launched in 2013. The Xbox One had a bit of a rough start, being $100 more, significantly less powerful than the PlayStation 4, and it just lacked the overall games that really showed off. Now, I will say this. At the start of the generation, Microsoft did come out strong with the first-party games. They had Rise. They had a few others that actually looked good. Dead Rising looked pretty good, minus the performance aspect, but I don't think a lot of people cared. So, but it looked good. It had a lot of stuff going for it, but the problem was this: the lack of gaming focus and the just sheer lunacy that went into their development of this console really hurt it in the long run. I mean, from just the Kinect integration that was forced down the consumer's throat, from the lack of improvements to games, from the, well, not improvements, but the lack of effort, that's what I meant to say, the lack of effort into games, and just the lack of just really knowing what time it is, not just out of the time. They were out of touch at a sense. They were out of touch. They didn't know what they were doing. And of course, what made it even worse was Microsoft themselves when they, was responding to fans. Now, back before we had Phil Spencer, obviously, before we had him, we had another head of Xbox, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. That guy. Oh boy, that dude will never, ever, ever, ever escape gamers' minds at how stupid he was in his responses towards the consumer, and how disrespectful he was in a sense to the consumer, along with another dude named Adam Orth. But whew, Don Matrick has definitely hurt the Xbox brand in the long run. Don Matrick just, as much as a lot of people might like Don Matrick from what he did with the 360, I respect him for what he did with the 360, but his, I guess you can say the cockiness and the arrogance that he displayed this generation at the start was ridiculous. I mean, from somebody asking him a simple question as the Xbox One being always online, how would I fare, basically, if if I'm a Marine and I work overseas, right, and I can't establish an internet connection, and he's like, well, I never thought I would hear nothing like that. It's like, really now? Come on, man. Google Fiber is not there yet. We're not there with Google Fiber, and Google Fiber is not even at a point where it's on the same level as Comcast in terms of pricing. It's not there yet. So, I mean, I don't know what to say in that regard. I really don't. But you fast forward from that, you fast forward from the terrible just launch and just the ridiculous amount of excuses. We're here. We have a new console, the Xbox One X, which launched pretty much almost a year ago. A few months, is like 8-9 months ago it launched. And the Xbox One X has done good. It's definitely corrected a lot of the problems from the Xbox One. And that's what a lot of people kind of see the Xbox One X as. I kind of see it as that now. I don't really see it as a console where they threw it out there just to really push the competition. It doesn't feel like that. You know what it really feels like? It just feels like an apology letter from Microsoft from the terrible launch. But I'm like, it's a little too late to be apologetic. It's time for you just to be better. Do what Kratos says. Don't be sorry, be better. And you would think that they would focus more on the future rather than stupid stuff like they're doing now. The new additions to the Xbox One X, like the enhanced list from Game Pass and Play Anywhere, are definitely beneficial to the gamer, but here's where it actually hurts, and it definitely makes me worried about the next-gen console as well. So let's start off with the performance. The Xbox One X is the first console to actually legit go true 4K. It was the first one. It actually achieved that. It was able to do these things. It has a lot of things going for it. It has the tools, basically, to summarize everything. The Xbox One X has all the tools in the world to be an amazing value for the consumer. The problem with the Xbox One X is not necessarily the console, it's the first-party talent and it's Microsoft's lack of quote-unquote vision and their lack of just commitment to giving the consumer that first-party experience. People are going to argue like State of Decay might be a must-have, but let's be real here, it really is not. It looks good, but it's not one of those type of games. It's just not. You need something really impactful to the consumer. When you look at State of Decay, Sea of Thieves, and Recore, and Super Lucky Tales, and you're saying that this thing is the world's most powerful console, and then you have certain devs, the dudes behind Ark, Survival Evolved, hyping up saying that it's on par with a $1,500 PC, that really does put you in a bad shape, and that's what a lot of people have noticed this generation. See, PR, like a lot of PR talk definitely hurt this console as well as just the overall overhyping of things. We know there's a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about in these gaming streets when it comes to knowledge about gaming, PCs, etc. There's so many people who claim they have gaming PCs and they're able to achieve X amount of things, right? But then they go, just like hard just to defend Microsoft and this underpowered console. And sorry, it is underpowered compared to a PC. But the Xbox One X, again, I'm not going to knock the console. The console is good. The problem is it just doesn't have the direction. It doesn't have the games. It doesn't have the system seller to really get it off the feet. And when people look at these sort of things and you look at what's happened in 2018, I mean, it's pretty obvious that we're in a bad shape with Microsoft. Now, as far as the other things that have pretty much put Microsoft in a bad slump, let's start with something that a lot of people have praised, such as myself. Game Pass. Game Pass is a nice value for what it's worth. Basically, for $20, because you have to have Xbox Live Gold to use this, for $20, you get access to every single game that's on the list of Game Pass, every single thing. So if Gears of War just came out, you have access to Gears of War day one. That is an incredible value for what it's worth. You have access to $60 games for just $10 or $20 if you don't have gold. That's an amazing value. That's an amazing incentive. However, when you look at that particular thing and you now know that it's on PC as well as the Play Anywhere initiative where you don't necessarily need an Xbox console in general or an Xbox product to just enjoy and play these games, it really does hurt everything. It hurts the incentive. Sure, it might be great for the consumer, but it hurts the console in the long run because a lot of people look at it like, well, if I have to pay an additional $500 and all I get is improved graphics and my PC is already improved and I know it's more powerful than this console and I have the ability to play it on my rig, then I'm not necessarily going to upgrade. And that's where the problem with Microsoft lies. The problem with Microsoft is that they just didn't think about that. They didn't really think that through. And I understand why they did that. We all know why. They want to be a service. They want to be able to unite the Xbox, Live ecosystem with PC. They want to be like linked with Steam. They want to have like a simple way of converging, console play, or I'm sorry, not converging, but converting console players and PC players together into one big community, so where they all can be, gaming and having fun. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. Obviously, you see a lot of PC dudes supporting it, mostly because they don't have to go out and spend X amount of dollars for a brand spanking new console just to play these games. A lot of people on PC are squeamish on that sort of thing. Just like, if you don't believe me, go look at the PlayStation side. A lot of people on PC like the games on PlayStation, even though some of them might, try their hardest to damage control and say they don't like those games. They love these games. They are looking forward to playing these games. Unfortunately, they can't play them on PC. And a lot of them, go to links and say that exclusives are anti-consumer. In a sense, exclusives are kind of anti-consumer. They got a point there somewhat. Games being exclusive to one is not fair to some people, but this is where they missed the boat. Like, not the boat, but this is where they missed the point. Sorry, I said boat. But this is where they missed the point very, very bad here, okay? Consoles have been around for quite some time. Okay, consoles have always been around, and consoles have always had that unique factor about them, whether it be a gimmick or games that's exclusive to that platform. When you take away the exclusives of a console, you take away the very meaning and the very point of just buying a console. You need to have exclusives on a console to draw in the people that are interested in that game. I mean, before Max Payne was on PC, it was on console. Remember that? And you were all on PS2. You were all on the Xbox original back in the day, back when Max Payne and Dead or Alive and Marvel vs. Capcom and House of the Dead and all that. all of us were on our consoles until they eventually started, pushing the PC more. And hey, that's how it was. When you look at, how far we've come, arcades have even become irrelevant to us. You think about it. Remember how arcades used to be the thing back in the day? They have become so irrelevant to us now. We're older. We're more wiser with our purchases. We all look at arcades like, why would I spend $60 just to come in here and play a bunch of games that I have to wait for somebody to be done with when I can just go home and play these? And that's the world we live in now. A lot of stuff that we grew up, playing and enjoying are gone. Remember Mad Catz? I know a lot of people are familiar with Mad Catz. Mad Catz used to be known for all the peripherals. They used to be known for all the accessories. One particular accessory that I always loved from Mad Catz, and I was so happy that they brought these to consoles. I didn't even think that was possible, but they brought them to consoles, was the light guns. If you don't know what the light guns were, it was basically a little plastic gun that you aim at the TV, very similar to the arcade when you play House of the Dead in the arcade. You sit down and you shoot at the TV, you shoot outside the screen to reload your gun. That was on consoles, and they added some cool stuff like you being able to turn into machine guns or whatever. It was a real cool thing. I love that about, Mad Catz. Unfortunately, Mad Catz is no longer with us, but that's time. Things have changed. So Microsoft, in the longevity of things, if a new console does launch, right? If a new console does launch, it won't correct the wrongs. What corrects the wrongs is Microsoft themselves. And we already know Play Anywhere is not going anywhere. It's not. They're making crazy money off of Play Anywhere. The Xbox Game Pass is definitely going to stay, Excuse me, that's definitely going to stay, but you're not going to get much out of this console. It just doesn't feel like it. I don't feel like we're going to get much out of it anymore. There are rumors going around that the new Xbox is going to have 20 gigs of RAM. I mean, hey, that's fine. That's great. It's going to have a lot more multitasking capabilities, but my thing is this. I actually fear that they're going to do the same type of reveal that we got in 2013. You notice how they said we're the Xbox One at the time, in 2013, is your all-in-one entertainment console, as opposed to them saying it's your all-in-one gaming console. They said all-in-one entertainment. So for 20 gigs of RAM, I don't think 20 gigs of RAM is going to be solely, going towards games. I think that's going to be going to other stuff. Microsoft is no fool. They know where the features are. They know where all the social media integration is. I'm pretty sure they're taking notes from Sony with the Facebook integration and all that. You already know they're going to try something crazy. But, from a gaming consoles perspective, we buy these gaming consoles for exclusives, and we've always have. We care about the first party. And then a lot of people might not want to accept it, but that is the world we live in. And it's not hard for people to understand that. It's not it's not a lot to ask in 2018 for us to, be gamers and ask for games, is it? Right? I mean, what did you pay? What did you buy an Xbox One or a PS5 or a PS4 and a Switch for? You didn't buy them because of no damn portability. You didn't buy these consoles because they had power. You didn't buy these consoles because they had no damn 4K textures. No, you bought them because you knew they had games that catered to you. I had people at work all the time who tell me about Xbox, and it's like, yeah, that's fine, but I'm on PC now, so it's like it's kind of pointless for me to get an Xbox. And they go, well, I mean, they want to play a few games. So I'm like, I can't get into those games. I just can't. The games they want to play, I'm not into those games. But I know for a fact what I'm into on Nintendo side and PlayStation side, and that's where preference is going to play a factor in as well. Just because Sony has a diverse library of games doesn't necessarily mean every single game might cater to you. The same thing goes for Nintendo. A lot of people love Nintendo because it's like literally rated for everybody. But some people feel that Nintendo just simply doesn't grow up, quote unquote, with them. And that's kind of how I've kind of treated Nintendo in the past. I mean, instead of just looking at them for what they're truly worth, I did kind of act like that. It was like, they're saying we're live from the treehouse and sort of thing, you know what I'm saying? And I just looked at it like that. But for Microsoft, Microsoft, they have their own dude bro, I guess you can call it the dude bro if we still use that slang, but dude bro casual type of experiences, whereas basically the shooters, the action adventure type of games like Tomb Raider, and then you have your racers. That's basically what Microsoft caters to. Sony, they cater to virtually everybody. They have so many games, so many different ambitions, at their disposal. And Nintendo focuses just on the joy of play with their games that are rated for everyone. So as far as the Xbox 2 is concerned, and these rumors going around about it, I really don't want to start a series on this channel about it. I really do not. I don't really care as much for it. The reason why, Microsoft themselves haven't talked about it. And when Microsoft themselves talk about it, that's when Ryan the Professional will see fit to talk about it himself. I just don't see a reason for any of us to talk about it if they're not talking about it. And that's just where I personally stand. That's how I feel on the subject. You know, it's great that we have competition, you know, in Nintendo and Sony. But it's kind of sad, you look at it on paper, that more people will rather talk about a new console and the idea of somewhat of a redemption, right? Just hype up a new console like, oh, next year we got this, as opposed to just looking at everything you got in this gen and then really looking at it with a keen eye and thinking, is this truly what we have going into the future? That right there is the good question that a lot of you guys need to ask. What do you have going into the future, as opposed to just talking about stuff that you know for a fact that you're going to get now or later? So that's pretty much what I had to say on the matter. If you guys liked the video, make sure you guys hit the like button. I appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you guys so very, very much for joining me on this YouTube journey. Thank you. I will see you guys later. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's in the description below. You can definitely always hit me up there. You can ask everybody. I pretty much reply to everybody there, you know, especially when I'm at work. So definitely, I appreciate everybody again. And you guys have a blessed one. I'm out of here. Deuces.